All things are alleged, and in my opinion, under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use uh, for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. All right. So listen, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button and let's get into the mess going on in the news. All right. Again, all things are alleged, and in my opinion, Lego girl. What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? Don, y'all already know what time it is. It's time to get into some hot topics, of course, here as we are on the channel. All right. So, not so fast, Mr. Pierce Morgan. Okay. We got to get into Pierce Morgan and his Jaguar right interview. And the fact that a lot of people feel like he wasn't being the smartest with having Jaguar right on his platform. Of course, we have to talk about um, the fake first lady's husband, Pastor Keon Henderson. Now, I know that some of you all are up under his ministry, and some of you all don't like for me to discuss him much, but we will be talking about it. All right. And then also, we will be talking about Pastor Kenneth Hardin Jr. as well. All right. We're going to get into what he did to his wife, and of course, there are a couple of other things that we're going to get into. But first and foremost, please make sure that you guys hit that like button. All right. It lets everyone know that we are live. Listen, let everybody know. Let everybody know that we are live. All right. All right. With that being said, y'all, we're going to get into a few announcements and then we'll get into everything. First and foremost, you guys do know that the brunch and kitchen table talk tour is going down. Uh, October the 27th in Washington, D.C. Dallas, Texas will be November the 10th. Atlanta, Georgia is December the 15th. All right. And Charlotte has been rescheduled and the new date will be announced in the next coming days. All right. Head over to our website at www.tcddproductionswithaz.com to purchase your tickets, or you can scan this QR code on the screen to purchase your tickets. All right. It is greatly appreciated. And I thank you all so very much. And I hope you guys come on down. And I hope to see you in the building. All right. Now, listen, we want to solicit our prayers for the entire state of Florida with this hurricane that is going on. I want to send my sincerest like prayers out because I was on TikTok and I was listening and this uh, uh, I heard this young lady say that uh, she was just basically saying that this may be her last time, and it really got to me. So again, I do want to pray for you all. I really pray that you all find safety. I know that some people are not able to evacuate, and I kind of hear people keep saying, "Oh, y'all are crazy for not evacuating," but everybody doesn't have the means to do that. And so again, I want to send my prayers out to you all in hopes that God calms the seas. Okay, He has the ability to do such. He has the ability to calm the seas, and I am praying. I am praying. I am praying. I am praying. So, if you all would not mind dropping some praying hands in the chat, that is greatly appreciated. Because again, I think that this is a scary situation. I think it is a tough situation, especially if you have family or friends in the Florida area. And there's almost nothing you can do. It feels like there's nothing you can do. So, but what we know that we can do, and we know that God will answer prayer. All right. So again, prayers out to everyone involved. All right. All right, everybody. So let's get into this. I will not be holding you long, like the pastor would say. I ain't holding you long. All right. So let's get into the first topic, which is going to be Pastor Keon Henderson. All right. Pastor Keon Henderson is going viral again. As you guys can remember, he went viral not too long ago for telling a member to shut up during service, hush up. And then A few months later, he then apologized to her in front of the congregation. They hugged it out, but he is back in the news again, and it is not for that reason. Okay, he is back in the news for something that is not making much sense at all because there are scriptures to literally back up exactly the opposite of what he is getting ready to say. So I'm getting ready to play this video. And what I do want to say is shout out to Larry Reed for this video, but we are going to definitely get into it and just take a listen. Here we go.
Here's the other problem with the church is that anytime a person is in need, y'all go to running and dropping money. But let me tell you something, the poor will be with you always. And there is no blessing connected to blessing the poor other than getting back what you gave to them, but no multiplication. Multiplication is segregated for tithes and offering. When you give to the poor, the only thing you do is help them, but you don't help yourself. So when you give $1 to somebody on the street talking about I did my job, God like, thank you, but it ain't gonna help you. Read your Bible. Charity does not bring wealth. Only the tithe does that. Matter of fact, you don't believe me? Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna preach on it.
All right, so this to me, I don't like this type of stuff. I don't like this type of stuff at all. And here is why I don't like this at all. Proverbs 19 and 17 said, whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will repay him for his deeds. Proverbs 29 and 9. The generous will themselves be blessed, for they shall share their food with the poor. Luke 6 and 38. Give, and it will be given unto you good measures, pressed down, shaken together, run it over into your bosom. Hmm. Luke 12 and 33. Sell your material possessions and give the money to the poor. Make yourselves wallets and don't wear out. Make a treasure for yourselves in heaven and never lose its value. You know, again, there are times when I feel like we talk out of turn, we do just the wrong things. I'm sure he's going to come out soon windmilling. And for what he's going to come out windmilling for, I have absolutely no clue. Because at this point, sir, you said it, you've done it. Let me know what you guys think about this entire situation. I just provided four scriptures for you that absolutely says the opposite, in my opinion, about in regards to what he's saying. Okay. Um, and listen, we can have our own opinion about this. We will be respectful. But again, in this situation, I think that Pastor Keon Henderson, again, is wrong. All right. You guys, again, let me know how you feel down in the comments. All right. All right. So let's get into um, the Pastor Kenneth Hardin. Okay. We're going to get into Pastor Kenneth Hardin Jr. All right, let's get into it. Now, I believe that there was a point in time where we were going to discuss this story, but I had not quite done it. Now, you guys may have to look up this story because I am going to make sure that I keep this on the screen, this thumbnail on the screen until we get done with the story. All right. Now, this happened in Fayetteville, Georgia. Kenneth Hardin Jr., who is accused of unaliving his wife and burning her body, was arrested in Louisiana on Wednesday. Now, I have you to know that this article was written back in August 23rd of 2024. Now, he is currently awaiting extradition to Georgia to face charges of unaliving his wife, Carrie Hardin. Now, the officers could definitely tell immediately that there was somebody with some blood loss and somebody had attempted to clean up the crime scene, said Fayette County Sheriff Barry Babb. All right. Carrie Hardin's body, which shows signs of gunshot wounds, was discovered on Wednesday in a shallow grave behind the couple's home along Merlin Court in Fayetteville. Now, it's shocking as hell. Definitely seems like something that would be on, like, one of those shows. I didn't expect that, the sheriff said. So, according to the statement from the sheriff's office, her remains were partially burned and burned under yard debris, right? He had related that to his son. He had related that his son had purchased a plane ticket for him to fly to Georgia and meet him at a bank earlier, the sheriff said. Sheriff Babb says that Hardin handed over all his bank accounts and other responsibilities to his father. It was what Hardin next told his father, which prompted his father to report to law enforcement. He told his father that he had shot his wife and pretty much that he was now going to be on the run, the sheriff said. The 39-year-old Hardin allegedly told his father that he unalived his wife in self defense, burned her body, and was leaving town. Dozens of investigators combed through the property and reviewed surveillance video and collected evidence as deputies. All right. It says that the tragedy is here. The tragedy here, the tragedy is here was a family that is now, sorry, y'all, I think that is a typo in the actual article. Now completely, and I think they made a huge mistake here. But anyway, let's move on. It stated that you got to know that there was more than one victim that was deceased. If you got one victim, they're basically saying you may have another one. Now it says Fayetteville County deputies tracked Kenneth Hardin in a motel in Cummington, Louisiana, with assistance from the St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office and the Louisiana State Patrol. Hardin was apprehended by a SWAT team in his hotel room. Now, I got almost basically two calls at the same time, and the dog located our victim, which was buried in a shallow grave on the back part of the property. And at the same time, that St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office took him into custody without incident, the sheriff said. He was being held at the St. Tammany Parish Correctional Center as a fugitive from justice as of late Thursday evening. Fayette County investigators are in Louisiana for further investigation and questioning of the suspects, and as they are preparing to extradite him to Georgia. He is completely cooperating to the point that I will tell you that Captain Lee, who has been an investigator at least 3 decades, said, I've never had a homicide suspect want to tell us everything. And I asked him over the phone on speakerphone just minutes before you came in here, do you believe him? And he said, absolutely, the sheriff said. The couple's two children, who are in elementary school and middle school, are in the care of family. Okay. So I wanted to make sure that I put that in this video so that you guys can hear that, because again, ugh, he's a sick human being. Okay. He is absolutely a sick human being to even do this. Now, I want you guys to look up the story. I will put it in the description box below. Make sure you click the link and you can actually see a picture of Kenneth Hardin as well. All right. So let's get into our last topic. All right. So it looks like Piers Morgan, as you guys know in the previous video, if you don't see the previous video, make sure you go check out the previous video. It looks like Kenneth Hardin. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It looks like Piers Morgan is retracting having Jaguar right on his platform. Now, a lot of people are saying that Piers Morgan has too much of a large platform to make these type of mistakes. All right, he said that people are saying that Jaguar right should have been vetted, and I totally agree with that situation, which is why in the last video video. I did put in that last video that there was examples of the reason why Jaguar Wright may have not yet been sued. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to listen to Piers Morgan walk that thing back. And then we're also going to take a listen at Beyonce and Jay-Z's attorneys. All right. So it has been said that Piers Morgan, the platform that he is on, has received uh, uh, notice, to remove the Jaguar Wright interview, and also, take full responsibility for what you allowed on your platform. And that is so true. We can't just allow anything on the platform. Sometimes that's why we always ask you guys to be careful in the comment section, or just period, because there are a lot of things that we cannot control, unfortunately, and you just have to be careful, right? All right. So let's get into this, and I will be back with commentary.
Thing about platforms, the reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as there's something to say that other people want to hear. That's why we invited her on to be interviewed. The people making these claims have an audience with or without shows like mine. Well, Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves, but now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact, and we've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. But, like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too. And we apologise to Jay-Z and Beyonce. Well, now,
Okay, so here you can clearly hear him apologizing to Jay-Z and Beyonce. Well, now let's listen to
That's
the attorney for
somebody.
Jay-Z and Beyonce, and let's take a listen as they interview with TMZ. Now, I'm going to briefly show you guys so that you can see, but of course, since this is TMZ's property, I will be extremely careful. Let's go.
Comes on a show and then kind of levels these vague-ish allegations. Were you kind of ready for something like this to eventually happen?
Listen, there's rumors and then there's nonsense, and this is one step further, right? This is a pointed and formal accusation of something, and I felt it needed to be responded to. So I think somebody reported it was a cease and desist. It wasn't that. It was quite bluntly an ultimatum, which is remove that false accusation that's demonstrably false, or a court's going to order you to. And so I think he made the wise choice and acted accordingly.
He meaning Piers Morgan.
Removing it and apologizing for it, yes. What changed here in my mind is that somebody on a so-called journalistic platform exploited that kind of random rumor mill, whether it's disconnected from reality,
That somebody comes
or what have you, and lifted it up. And by doing that, they not only caused harm here, but they are also droning out the voices of real victims. And by doing that to get clicks, it didn't just harm the Carters. What he did effectively was to drone out the voices of actual victims in an ongoing case, in an ongoing investigation. And that was too much for me.
Are you in the process of making sure that it is taken down everywhere?
What I am here to say is that in a situation as serious as this, somebody who puts themselves out as a journalist should not effectively take advantage of the situation and exploit somebody in this way. And so that's the real reason for action.
Does it strike you a little bit that there's been a lot of silence in Hollywood in the wake of all of this?
Well, as to the Carters, I can tell you that when they put their foot down on something as they did here, they are sending a message. And if they can't stand up or what have you, and lifted it up and make sure right from wrong, then who can? I have always believed that the truth will come out in courtroom and make sure right from wrong, then who can? I have always believed that the truth will come out in courtroom and.
All right, so there we have it. There we have it. So there is Beyonce and Jay-Z's attorneys speaking with TMZ in regards to what has taken place when it comes to Pierce Morgan and Jaguar Wright. Now, again, I do think you have to be extremely careful, especially with things like this, because they are having, yeah, he's having a tough time with that one. Okay, he's definitely having a tough time with that one. So, y'all, I don't know. I don't know, but what I do know is we must take heed to certain things and not, not run with it. I wasn't one of the people who was like, oh, Jaguar Wright hasn't been sued, so she must be telling the truth. Because I've seen some of the things that Jaguar has said. I've heard some of the things that she said, and let me tell you, some of those claims, I'd be like, girl, how do you know, girl? How do you know? But anyway, moving on. All right, so I have one more story, and then we are going to get up out of here. All right. Do you guys remember this young man, Sir Major? You guys remember him? Well, listen, Sir Major Page has been sentenced to 42 months in prison after he allegedly used Black Lives Matter of Greater Atlanta donations for personal expenses, including a house, travel, and a prostitute. Oh, girl, we have to get into this really quick. So, according to 13 ABC, Page was sentenced to 42 months in prison on Thursday, as prosecutors say that he took money donated to the Black Lives Matter for Greater Atlanta Facebook page and used it for personal items. So, according to the reports, Page advertised um, Page advertised the page as a legitimate place to donate funds for civil justice causes. While it is unclear whether or not the page has any affiliation to the widely known Black Lives Matter movement, prosecutors say that he established his own Facebook page and registered it as a nonprofit uh, compatible of receiving donations. Also, it says, according to the FBI news release, donations to the Facebook page in the week of George Floyd's death. The funds were reportedly directly transferred to the account operated by the Black Lives Matter of Greater Atlanta. The U.S. Attorney says that Page used the funds for luxury items, travel, meals, drinks at bars and nightclubs, firearms, and prostitutes for himself. Child.
U.S. District Judge Jeffrey Helmick today ordered Page to serve 42 months in prison. 35-year-old Sir Maejor Page was found guilty of wire fraud and 3 counts of money laundering following a 6-day trial back in April. You may remember him from leading a number of local social justice demonstrations in Toledo during 2020, including this one. Marching down South Reynolds Road and ending at then Toledo Police Chief George Crawl's house. Those guilts came from Page's involvement in running a group called Black Lives Matter of Greater Atlanta. He created that Facebook page back in 2016. U.S. attorneys say Page took donation money to purchase luxury clothing, meals, drinks at bars and nightclubs, a house, firearms, and a prostitute, all for himself. Prosecutors saying donors were tricked, believing they donated to a legitimate Black Lives Matter foundation, not knowing the money would be redirected to a subsidiary in Toledo. U.S. District.
Well, all right. Stop playing with them people money like that. I wouldn't play with it at all. And I wouldn't play with it at all. Well, listen, thank you so much for tuning in to this short video. I just wanted to make sure I hit these nuggets. Hopefully, I will have some more short form videos like this that will be available to you. Please like and subscribe, and I will be sure to catch you guys in the next one. Bye.